welcome to this edition of the Evening Review. My name is Toini Nauyoma, your host for tonight. Let's have a look at the front page of today's Namibian Sun. So tonight in this segment, we are joined by President of the Teachers Union of Namibia, TUN, Toini Nauyoma, to speak to us about events that took place this week as far as consultations regarding the opening and reopening of school is concerned. Welcome to the show, Ms. Nauyoma.
Thank you very much.
Yes. So on Monday, there was this big meeting between yourselves, I think as the union and other groups, meeting officials of the Ministry of Education. What was the nature of the conversation?
Sorry, just to correct you, the meeting was on Tuesday, the 28th.
Yeah,
and
sorry.
This meeting was not between the union and the ministry. It was a meeting with the stakeholders.
Yeah, okay.
Tun was just the facilitator.
Okay.
But it was its own convener where we have the civil society, we have the parents, we have the learners, and the teachers themselves.
Yeah.
So that was now the meeting was really necessitated by the situation where Namibia found itself, where we have the increased incident of COVID-19, which is very fast. And we are worried as a nation for this increase, and we are still, the Ministry of Education is still planning to open the school where they are still now saying with those learners that are already in school, we are going to add other grades, which are grade 4, 5, 6, and 10, 8, 10, that they must also join the others. So the situation and the concern is, now we have higher number of infection, which is even community transmission. And we are still putting emphasis that we must open schools. Now the concern of the group is that when we had 2 cases, we closed schools. What have informed the decision for the nation to call off the school the time we had 2 cases? But now, as we have more than 1,000 cases, we are saying all learners must be in school and they must attend classes. The concern group also look at the issue that COVID-19 is not just in Namibia. It's a global pandemic. But other countries, they are using different modality to try if they can decrease the number, the increase of infection. And schools are seen to be the center of spreading this disease. Wherever you have mass gathering is where you are at danger. But now with us, with the increase of numbers, we want mass gathering. That is what the group don't understand. The group looked at the example of other nations that have the same problem and how they are trying, like looking at our neighboring countries like Botswana or South Africa, and also listening to the advice that nations are getting from the World Health Organization of social distancing. So now, with all the learners in school, will be there social distancing? How are we going to have social distance when we have all the learners in school?
Yes.
Even the current situation for learners that are in school, more especially junior primary learners, the attendance is very worrisome. Teachers are sitting in classes with 4 learners a day, 5 learners, 10 learners, 1 learner, 0 learners. Do we really want to say there is education taking place? There is no, at the moment, there is no effective teaching and learning taking place. So now, can we not sit back and do self-introspection as a ministry, as a country? Teachers or schools are being requested to send statistics of the attendance. And they are doing so day by day in some regions. And I don't know if these statistics are being asked just for school to be busy, or they are asking the statistic to assess the condition. And they are receiving statistics of poor attendance. And we are still saying, let's go to school.
So does it mean then that this low turnout of learners is due to parents holding back their children and being scared to send them into that environment? Or why are the numbers low?
Those are the things that we are saying. Can we not see what is happening? The parents, the head of state, give option to the parents. Parents can opt to send their kids to schools, or they can opt to keep their children to stay at home. So now, if you have the number of low turnout, it's an indication that parents are worried. They are very much worried, and that is why they are part of this meeting, to express their concern. People have fear and anxiety, and we are not even attending to the parents' fear and anxiety, and what comfort should we give them? Every day, the numbers are increasing. So, as a parent cannot send a child to a mass gathering. The emphasis here is the mass gathering at schools. So now, there is another challenge now that came with the instruction from the head of state. Now, the Ministry of Education put up guidelines which are now giving parents challenge that if a parent opts to keep the child at home, some schools now are asking for the parent to pay for the services for making copies of activity that they must come and collect from some of the schools. So parents are being threatened that if you opt to keep your child at home, make sure that your child will repeat the grade the coming year. So now there is a hell of confusion with that exercise. And teachers are being also instructed to make sure that learners that are doing homeschooling, they have quality activities. They must be in contact with their parents, but it was a voluntary option from the parents. So now we don't see now the connection between the voluntary exercise and the pressure that is being put on the parents and to schools as well. So those are the concern.
So, Nauyoma, your union is essentially calling for the closures of school. Is that for a specific period, or are we saying for the whole of this year, let's just forget about this year? And then if that is the case, what happens to the children?
The Teachers Union of Namibia's position has been clear since the start. We are saying with this situation, with their advice from the World Health Organization, with their school, the resources that we have in Namibian schools, in many of them, if not all, that they are not well resourced to answer the question of combating the spread of COVID-19. We have been saying, let us focus on critical grades, the transitional grades, because the curriculum of the education of Namibia, it's in such a way that it's in phases. It's a 2-year phase or a 2-year course. So now we must make sure that we focus the resources that we have and the kind of situation that we find ourselves. Let's focus on the grades that are so critical. Grades that are writing their exam, which is not in our hand. More special grade 11 and grade 12. Then we can also look at other transitional grades like grade 7 and grade 9. So that we focus on the resources that we have and the poor condition that we have, we can improve for that limited number of learners. Then the rest of grades, they can stay at home. Schools can come up with a modality like the ministry started now to say, we must now continue the education, continued learning in different modes, which are will be able to make sure that every Namibian child which is at home can benefit from it. But we must also now, in the meantime, make sure that we are preparing ourselves to make sure that all the learners that are now at home will be transferred, because we cannot say they will be promoted, can be transferred to the next grade. And teachers will prepare in such a way that their scheme of work will cover critical areas that learners have missed for 2020 academic year. Let's have bridging course, even a 4 weeks bridging course or a month and a half. As long as we are preparing, we know the situation, we know where we have started, we know what type of learners that we are having, then we prepare ourselves. Because there are two preparations that need to take place. The physical infrastructure, the ministry has to make sure they must use this time to improve the physical infrastructure, while educators must also now prepare themselves for academic activity, for effective teaching and learning to take place. What is taking place now in school, there is no effective teaching taking place. Learners themselves, they are also traumatized. They have that fear and anxiety. Teachers themselves, they also need psychosocial support, which is not coming their way. So now everybody's just scared. Every time a person is waking up, going to work, or a child waking up, going to school, a parent waking the child to go to school, everybody's just worried, everybody's concerned, have that fear and anxiety. That's the reason we are saying, let's call off the year and do the preparation, proper preparation, because what we must remember, COVID is here. And COVID is going to stay with us. But COVID found us unprepared. So let us use this time to prepare, so that as we are going to start the academic year of 2021, we have at least prepared.
Even if COVID is still around.
If COVID is still around.
I hear you. So, just hypothetically, what do you foresee come Monday, the 3rd of August, Monday next week, if government doesn't retreat with their plan and they go ahead as planned you are a school teacher yourself. What are you likely to see when you picture the situation of Monday? What is it likely to be the situation on the ground as far as crowdedness is concerned, children coming around there? What do you foresee?
No, what is going to happen Monday, if schools are going to open, that is the mass gathering. The mass gathering of more than 250. Schools have so many learners. The school where I am working, we have already 1,040 learners. That is the mass gathering that will happen.
Yeah.
And now we are saying, let us prevent that.
Yeah.
Let us not have that situation, more especially at this moment where we have so many cases every day and we have deaths.
Yeah.
So now we are saying, this group is saying, the stakeholders are saying, if we are not going to inform the nation today, we gave the ministry up to today, Friday. Come Monday, there will be a peaceful demonstration where we have teachers, we have parents, we have learners, and we have all concerned Namibians that see this one as a danger. So if we wanted not to go to that extent, because we have been in consultation with the ministry, we have been speaking, but we are seeing the volume is too low. It looks like people want us to speak loud. Then for us to speak loud is when we are going to gather the masses in big numbers. We have the resources to organize the masses so that their voice can be heard, because now the volume is too low. We need to increase the volume for people to listen, because Namibia and Namibians, that's all we have. And we are saying prevent is better than cure.
Prevent is better than cure. The one thing, Mme. Nauyoma, that I've observed with the classes that are being attended at the moment is that if you have grade 3A, that grade 3A is also split now into two, where group 1 of that class goes to school on Monday, Wednesday, and maybe Friday, and the other one Tuesday and Thursday. Is that not helpful to ensure that you control the gatherings?
But what is that we want to achieve? Do we want to achieve to control gathering, or do we want to teach? Why must we have learners in school? What is the purpose of sending a child to school? Is it now to control the gathering or to teach? Seeing a learner once a week, how effective is that? And to the extent you will end up seeing a learner after a week, is that when are the teachers going to cover their syllabus? And even the promotional requirement, now they are brought down to zero, so to say. Now what is that we want? Do we want quality education, or we want to prove to the world that we are trying and we are doing something? We are pretending. Here I'm seeing the ministry is pretending and is pushing in the direction of pretending, because there is no quality taking place. There is no way you can see a learner once a week or after a week and you are saying, no, there is a teaching and learning taking place.
But is that not? I've caught the attention of the phrase of quality that you've used to say. It's like just a formality. There's no quality. There's no attention to quality. But how is that different from your proposal that we just transfer learners to the next grade? There's no preparation for that grade. My daughter's in grade 4. When she goes to grade 5 next year, she's just there.
Yes.
So
Yes,
but would it not be slightly different if she went to school, even if it's in patches like that, but at least there's an element of preparation?
How many days that we have now for this year to end? We are saying give teachers time to prepare thoroughly for the effective teaching and learning of 2021 academic year. So this piecemeal teaching is not going to help your daughter.
But it's not, but
because the days that we have now, we don't have enough time to see a child once a week. How many days do we have to see your daughter once a week? But will you be satisfied? Yeah. But will you not be satisfied when you see the school environment is well prepared and the teaching and learning is well prepared because there was enough time given for this preparation?
So what was preventing teachers to prepare before COVID? What was, because you seem to paint a picture that now is an opportunity for teachers to reorientate themselves and be ready to impart education to children. But what has been the impediment before? Why couldn't teachers do that before?
Teachers are prepared to teach on a daily basis with their own overcrowdedness that we have been talking all over the past years. Yeah. Teaching every day from Monday to Friday, teaching all the learners. Now with COVID, we have a new normal where you are not expected to have 40 learners in a class. Now, whoever prepared to see a child once a week, those are the preparedness that we are talking. We are not talking that teachers have been not preparing, but now you can find a teacher that has 3 class group that you have to see, whether the arrangement, you see them once a week or you see them once after 1 week. So those are the preparedness that we are talking, because we will continue, if COVID is going to be here, we will continue with social distancing. We will continue to have learners that need to be in groups, but that was not prepared. Nobody prepared for COVID. Yes. And we don't want now to agree that nobody prepared, and we don't want to say, let us prepare.
No, I hear you. I just thought since, because by and large, the workload of teachers is actually made slightly easier, not by design, but by default, by the circumstances. but let me just ask you, might be the final or second last question, maybe Nauyoma. So is this not just a case of school teachers? And I'm asking innocently. I'm not assuming anything. I don't want to be killed by teachers now by saying this, but is this not just an excuse by teachers not to go back to school and teach? Because there was a time when they were just getting paid for nothing. Maybe they want to go back to that.
Okay, no, let me, before you say the workload of teachers is not lessened. It's even more now. Because there are schools that are having groups that you have to see the 2 sessions. You have to teach from 7 to 2 o'clock. Just repeating the same. You teach this group, you teach the same to this group, you teach the same to that group. And teachers, they don't even have break time anymore. As this session is going, you are receiving the other session. This session is going, you are receiving the other session. For now, the workload for the teachers is more comparing to what has been there.
Maybe that is what you guys are afraid of.
Now coming to the sentiment of saying teachers, they perhaps lazy or they don't want to teach. Since when teachers started to be lazy? Teachers have never invited COVID. But the working environment is not conducive. We must make sure that the working environment is conducive for the teachers, and that is what we are demanding.
Yeah.
There are no ways of teachers has been even going to school without learners.
Yeah.
I can't see this sentiment of saying teachers that they don't want to teach. Since when teachers were lazy?
Yeah.
Is it now just because of COVID and we are saying we are not ready? That word is where I see people, they don't want to hear that word, that we are not ready for COVID. Schools are not ready for COVID. School infrastructure are not ready for COVID. Let's prepare. But now, because people don't want to prepare, they want to dump everything on the teachers. Anything which is going to be wrong is because of the teacher. Teacher didn't do X and Y, so they must just go, and later they will be blamed. They were supposed to do A, B, C, D. As I'm speaking, there are schools, teachers attending to those learners in schools where there is no water, in school where there is no toilet. They are helping themselves in the bush. So now it's because they are lazy. You can already see the sacrifice our Namibian teachers are doing at the moment. And we want to say, let us get ready for all this. It's not because people are lazy, but it's because schools are not adequately having the adequate resources to respond to COVID.
Indeed. The final question then is just on your union's threat that if government presses ahead with its plans of reopening the rest of the grades on Monday, what are you going to do? You are going to press ahead also yourself with the demonstration that you're planning to?
This is not just the union's threat, as I indicated. This is concern of teachers, concern of parents, concern of learners, and also concern for all Namibians that see there is danger in mass gathering. There's danger to send children to school that are not prepared for the situation that we find ourselves. So our position remains the same, that if what we are talking, if the negotiation and the consultation, we are not reaching consensus, the only way to make the public aware, even of their rights, is we are forced to have a peaceful demonstration. And we are ready for that if the demands are not going to be met.
Indeed.
Coming Monday.
Thank you very much for coming through, Nauyoma. That is Toini Nauyoma. She's the president of the Teachers Union of Namibia, speaking to us, of course, about the demands that her union and several other stakeholders are making to government as far as the plans to open schools on Monday or reopen the remaining grades on Monday is concerned. Let's see what happens as far as that is concerned. Let's now look at the weather and enjoy your weekend.